Is this thing on? Hello, hello? Uh-oh. Another yapper with a mic. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Napkin in Between podcast. I'm your host, Dejanay Jones. I hope everyone has been having a good week, except for that orange drink lady, of course. I have been having a very good week because I have been sleeping like a baby at night recently. You know how sometimes when you go to sleep and then you wake up and you don't know what day it is, what time it is, where you're at, who your parents are? That's how I have been sleeping recently, and it's because I got a new bed. This is the peak of my week, by the way, because sleep and me are like this. Okay, for the audio listeners, you can't see, but my fingers are crossed. We go together real fucking bad. One thing about me, I'm going to sleep. I love to take a nap. A nap hates to see me coming. But whenever I'm upset, I take a nap. Whenever I am sad, I take a nap. Whenever I don't feel well, I take a nap. I'm not depressed, by the way. This does sound quite depressing and like I sleep all the time. But I'm not depressed. I just love to sleep. It's like one of my favorite extracurricular activities. Top 3 and an 8, 2, or 3. But I recently had to get a new bed. And when I tell you, this is the most comfortable bed I have ever slept on. Like, I feel like I am sleeping on the perfect pillow. It's not too hard. It's not too soft. It is the perfect bed. But I'm not going to hold you. The chain of events which led to me having to get a new bed, stressful, chaotic, 0 out of 10, not a good time. My poor baby dog is sick. So I've had my dog Luna since she was 6 months old. Some of y'all know a little bit of the backstory. It was the height of COVID, and there was this man walking around my neighborhood, knocking on every door, telling everyone that he had this dog. If nobody took her, he was going to take her to a shelter. And I was like, okay, Savannah, slow down. Like, tell me more about the dog. How old is she? You know, what does she look like? Whatever. And so he tells me about Luna. She's 6 months old. He shows me a picture, and I was just like, that baby is not going to a shelter if I have anything to do with it. Like, give her to me. I need her. And so he was just like, okay, give me $100 and I'll give you, the dog. She has a crate. She has food. Like, he gave me everything that she needed. And so I got Luna. I was actually in a relationship with my ex at the time, but Luna has always really been my dog. Like, she gravitated towards me. I trained her. Being as it was the height of COVID, I was working from home, so I was always with her. And so when my ex and I split up, there was no question, like, I was keeping Luna. And, like, he didn't fight me for it, as he shouldn't, because she was my dog. Also, he cheated on me a month after proposing to me, so, like, the least you could do is let me keep my fucking dog. But Luna has always been a very healthy dog. She doesn't get sick very often. If she does, it's maybe like once a year. I make sure her shots are always updated. She gets her exercise. Like, she is in great shape. She's 5 years old, but she has the energy of a puppy. And so a couple weeks ago, I noticed that there was a bubble on her ear. And one thing about me, if I notice anything wrong about my dog, we're going straight to the vet. Like, I don't waste no time because I do not play about my baby. That is my daughter. And so I called her vet and I explained to them, like, she has this bubble on her ear. I'm not sure what it is. I've never seen it before. And thankfully they had just had a triple cancellation. So they were like, if you can get her to the vet right now, like, we can see her. So I immediately take her to the vet. Thankfully it's like 1 block away from me, so not too far. And they're doing a checkup. Everything looks good. They look into her ears and they see that she has a double ear infection. Mind you, like I said, Luna is a very healthy dog. She's never had an ear infection in her entire life. And the first time she gets an ear infection, she has it in both ears. Go big or go home, I guess. So they put her on a steroid and an antibiotic to help with the ear infection. And because she's on the steroid, it makes her thirsty, which makes her pee more. And so me and one of my friends, Cole, y'all probably know Cole. He's on TikTok. He does a lot of political content. We were on live one night. And Luna does not like men. I don't know what happened to her in her first 6 months of life, but whenever I find the man who hurt her, trust you will be dealt with. Anytime she sees a man or she hears a man's voice, she starts to growl, she starts to bark. Mind you, Luna is not a growler or a barker. I have these neighbors who live the building over from me. It's these 2 men who live together, and we don't live in the same building, but we can see into their apartment. And anytime they're in the kitchen and Luna can see them, she growls at them, she barks at them. Like, my girl does not like men, and honestly, she's so fucking real for that because I don't like men either, so I feel her for that. But me and my friend Cole are on live, and so she can hear Cole's voice, and so she starts, like, shaking. She gets really, really anxious, and I'm trying to calm her down and, like, petting her, telling her it's okay, like, he's on the phone, like, nothing's gonna happen, he's not even in the room with us. But she's so anxious, and again, mind you, she's on this steroid that makes her pee more because she's drinking more, and because she got so anxious, she peed on my bed. Now, I'm not gonna hold you. When she did it, I was mad as fuck because I'm like, girl, You are potty trained. You know not to pee in the house. Like, what the fuck is going on? But then I had to remember, like, you know, she's on this steroid. It's not her fault. So I was mad at her at first, but then she gave me the puppy eyes. And then I remembered, you know, like, she doesn't like men. She's on this steroid. With all of this combined, like, I was like, okay, I'm not mad at you anymore. So I immediately stripped my bed. I washed all the sheets, and I'm trying to clean the bed. I scrubbed this bed for like an hour and a half with Clorox, with Lysol, with anything that I could find. And I swear I could still smell pee. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to get a new bed. Wasn't very happy that I had to get a new bed, but nonetheless, we got a new bed, and it ended up working out because this bed is so much comfortable than my last bed. Like, maybe Luna knew what she was doing. She ate that one little thing. Thankfully, we were able to turn lemons into something resembling lemonade. If you know, you know. But y'all, please pray for my baby. She is doing a lot better now. I think that it just took her body a little bit to adjust to the steroid. She's still peeing a lot more, so I'm taking her out more, obviously, but I think that her ears are starting to feel better. When she first got the ear infection, one of her favorite things is for me to scratch behind her ears, and so I would try to do that, and she would like yelp or cry because her ears were hurting her. And I don't even know how long her ears were hurting her for because she can't tell me. I hate that about dogs. Like, I wish that they could just talk and tell us what was going on. You know what I mean? Like, but thankfully the vet said it was a minor double ear infection, and so it should be able to heal with the steroid and the antibiotic. But y'all keep my baby lifted because mama's girl is not feeling good, and it makes me so sad. As always, I would love to hear the peak of your week, so please leave it in the comments. Something that made you smile, kept you grounded. Just something that made you happy in the chaos that is the world. Speaking of sleeping well at night, segueing into what we're going to talk about today. As y'all know, I am on my content creation journey. I would love to make content creation my full-time job, make it the thing that I can do permanently. And there have been a few things on this content creation journey that have made me be like, do I call LA or do they call me? You know what I mean? For example, monetizing on TikTok, monetizing my podcast, hitting 1,000 subscribers on my podcast. Thank you so much for that, by the way. That happened last week. That was crazy. I also hit 300K on TikTok last week, which was crazy. I feel like anytime I hit like 100K, you know what I mean? Like 100K, 200K, 300K. Like, those are just crazy milestones for me. Thank you so much for all of that. I appreciate all of you being here. Sometimes I don't understand why all of you are here, like what's happening, but nonetheless, I appreciate every single one of you. But I feel like I've hit another milestone on this content creation journey, and it is someone trying to manufacture beef with me. And I don't even really want to call it beef. It's more like tofu or Morningstar, you know what I mean? Because this shit is so fucking fake. But I received a cease and desist. Sorry. I cannot take this shit seriously, bro. I received a cease and desist from someone that I had not spoken about in 2 months. She came to my page 2 months after I had mentioned her to comment on the video that I had made about a situation, which included her, and send me a cease and desist. Let's do a story time because, girl, people are just very interesting. Very, very interesting. So back in January, there was this woman. Her name is Olivia Davis. And she has a podcast with 2 of her friends whose names I don't even know. But in this podcast, she was talking about her ex, Tori Craig, who is dating Megan Thee Stallion. So she's bringing up this topic and she's like, should we talk about how my ex is dating? And then she struggles to say Megan Thee Stallion. Actually, she doesn't struggle to say Megan Thee Stallion. She struggles to say Megan. Period. Just the name Megan. And so back in January, me as well as hundreds of other people made videos about the situation, just talking about like the weirdness of it and how strange it was that the only thing that she seemed to struggle with was saying Megan. And for the record, I stand by everything that I have said throughout this whole situation because it is weird. Like, struggling to say Megan, a very common name, the name of several people that she follows, so presumably she's friends with. Like, it's weird that you're struggling to say Megan and it looks forced. Like, it looks like you're pretending not to know how to say Megan. And mind you, if you go back and look at the clip, she says Megan's name wrong. Then she says it right. Her friends tell her how to say it, and then she proceeds to say it wrong again. Like, Please be so fucking for real. But I made a video, again, mind you, in January, talking about how weird it was that she was pretending not to know how to say Megan's name, and it gave force and it gave jealousy, which is quite embarrassing because, again, we're talking about how she's dating your ex. So you're doing this all over a man. Definitely a choice. That's all I'm going to say. That's a choice. Because, mind you, folks had found receipts of her listening to Megan's music, posting to Megan's music, singing along to Megan's music. Like, number one, again, Megan is a very common name. But number two, it's giving fan. Like, you know who Megan Thee Stallion is. You know how to say her name. It's very, very odd that you're pretending not to. So I made my videos back in January, whatever. 2 months almost to the day later, because I made my video January 9th. She comments on March 8th, and I'm going to read you her comment because I screenshot it, of course. So she comments and says, I highly suggest you think twice before you post misleading info based off your biased perspective without showing the full episode, and you blatantly being xenophobic and racist towards a white immigrant. Can we be serious? Like, can we be serious? First of all, before this entire situation, and even still today, I don't know who this woman is. So I did not know that she wasn't born in America because, mind you, after hearing her talk, seeing just the few clips that I have seen, there's no accent detected. She sounds like an American woman. So I had no idea that she was even not from America. But to say that someone is being xenophobic and racist towards you because they're calling out the way that you've pretended to not know how to say Megan, because it's very clear on camera that you've pretended not to know how to say Megan, is fucking crazy. Furthermore, to say that someone is spreading misinformation, again, when your actions are on camera, is fucking crazy. Like, can we be serious? So I responded back to her comment and I said, girl, wasn't nobody racist or xenophobic towards you. You and your friends are lame for being microaggressive towards Megan over a man. And here you are months later and still haven't learned, do better. And I stand by that because not only were her actions weird and gave jealousy, but they were also extremely microaggressive. Like, as a black woman, I have experienced the name microaggression my entire life. I have had teachers, I have had professors, I have had colleagues, I have had peers mispronounce my name over and over and over. And the reason that's microaggressive, in case people don't know, it shows a lack of effort and respect to validate someone's identity. And like, being as though my name is Desjardins, okay, I get it. Like, sometimes that can be a tough word for Elmo. The name that we're talking about is Megan. Megan. I've never heard another way to pronounce Megan other than Megan. And then she goes on to say in the clip, like, I'm just going to call her Megan. Like, yeah, that's her name. What else would you call her? Like, can we be serious? Like, she said it as if it was doing Megan a favor for calling her Megan. Like, girl, that's her name. Like, what else would you call her? And like, the thing about microaggressions is, I mean, it's kind of in the name, microaggression. You don't even really realize that you're doing it, or it's so embedded into society, as racism is embedded in society, especially in America, because America was built on racism. And when someone points out your microaggressiveness and your response is to be defensive or hostile, what you're showing is that you don't even really care to learn. And if you don't care to learn about the microaggressions and how you can affect someone with racism on a more personal level, then you damn sure don't care on a macro level, or care about understanding how racism can truly affect people's lives. And then, mind you, the fact that she is coming back 2 months later, you could have taken that time to truly learn and to truly understand why people were saying that what you were doing was microaggressive. But instead of doing that, you use those 2 months to come back and make yourself the victim, which you said you weren't going to do. But we'll get to that in a second. So now she's going back and forth with me in my comment section, just telling me that I'm being racist and xenophobic towards her. I'm telling her, ma'am, I have no idea who you are. Like, this is a Wendy's. What are you talking about? Telling me that I'm spreading misinformation. Mind you, all of this is on camera, but okay, girl, go off. So I ended up making a second video of just talking about how she had come back 2 months later in my comment section to accuse me of being racist and discriminatory and harassing her. Mind you, if you're gonna claim harassment, you can't interact with the person that you're claiming is harassing you. That's number one. Number two, I made that video in January and I left it in January. I actually left it that day. Like, I never spoke about it again. So how the fuck am I harassing you? Please be fucking serious. But I make another video and I'm talking about like how she's in my comment section, you know, trying to victimize herself and say that she had a language barrier, which, mind you, she did an interview where she talks about how, yes, she was not born in America, but she speaks proper English and she wasn't going to use the fact that she wasn't born in America as a way to victimize herself or make an excuse for mispronouncing Megan. Like, girl, did you forget that you said this shit on fucking camera? Because that is exactly what you're doing. She also accused me of disregarding the fact that she is an immigrant. And I'm like, girl, you disregarded that fact. You were literally on camera saying, yes, I was not born here, but I'm not going to use it as an excuse or use that as a way to victimize myself. And then you turned around 2 calendar months later and did that very same thing. Like, can we please be serious, girl? Can we please be fucking for real? But I make a video just pointing out literally her own inconsistencies. I showed where she said Megan's name wrong, said it right, then continued to say it wrong after her friends had corrected her. I showed her interview where she said that, yes, she wasn't born in America, but that wasn't an excuse and she wasn't going to use it as an excuse. Just showing that, like, after 2 months, you've learned nothing. You know what I mean? Like, after 2 months, you came into my comment section just showing that you learned nothing. And it's like, for what? This shit was 2 months old and she's claiming, oh, I'm still being harassed, da 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 da. Not by me, because I stopped talking about it the very day that I made that video. I never spoke on it again until she came back into my comment section and brought that shit back up. Like, please be serious. So anyway, I make my video and again, disregard the situation because it doesn't matter to me. Like, respectfully, you don't matter to me. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you have going on. Like, I said what I said and I meant what the fuck I said when I said it. And if you're upset about that, okay. Like, what would you like me to do with this information? Truly. So then I make that video on Saturday, March 8th. Okay. Monday, March 10th, I wake up to an email from her with a cease and desist. Now, mind you, the email is from her. It's clear as day that it's from her. But she's trying to pose as someone in the legal field. Like, the email that she sent it to me from, it says legal at, and then there's like an abbreviation for her management. Mind you, her management name is Olivia Davis Management. Sweetheart, I'm going to hold your hand with a napkin in between when I say this. You are your own manager, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I too am my own manager right now, so I totally get that. But she's trying to make me think from this email that it's from this legal portion of her team and it's not just from her directly, which isn't even necessary because a cease and desist is not a legal document. Like, if I wanted to send a cease and desist to someone, I could do that as myself. You don't have to pose as someone in the legal field to send a cease and desist. It's not necessary. It's not a legal document. And so to me, it gave scare tactic. Like, she wanted me to think that she had this whole legal team and they were reaching out to me and there was like a lawyer or someone in the legal field with this cease and desist. And again, if she wanted to send me a cease and desist, all she had to do was send me a cease and desist. Like, it didn't have to be crafted in a way that it makes it look like it's from a legal team when it's obvious that it's not. And it was obvious to me that it wasn't from a legal team because, number one, she added this address and like she made it like this big header with an address and she spelled sweet in the address wrong. Like, it was from this address in LA and it had like the street address, whatever, and it has a suite number. And she spelled sweet like suit. Like, she's put S-U-I-T, not S-U-I-T-E. That was my first dead giveaway. Second giveaway, I copy and pasted the entire cease and desist letter into an AI generator detector. And it came back that 94% of the document was AI generated. I'm like, did you even try, girl? Like, did you even try to make this look real? Like, please be serious. But she sends me this cease and desist, says that I'm harassing her, says that I'm being discriminatory, says that I'm being racist, says that I'm being xenophobic, says that I'm spreading misinformation. Basically saying that I need to take down all my old videos and not make any other videos. And mind you, I had no plans of making any more videos about this girl because I did not give a fuck. Like, I still don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, you're just very irrelevant to me. And to me, it's giving like you're trying to stay relevant. And so you're trying to manufacture beef with whoever you can. And it's like, girl, there's real problems going on in the world. Like, Trump is the president. He's trying to lead us into fucking World War III. Like, there is so much going on. I could not give a fuck less about what you're saying to me right now. But she sends me the cease and desist from her legal team. Okay? And then she DMs me on Instagram, on TikTok, and then she goes into the comment section of the video that I had made about her on March 8th to tell me, hey, my team sent you this cease and desist. Mind you, her team is just her. Which again, there's nothing wrong with that. But the fact that you're trying to pose as your team and also yourself is fucking crazy. And you're not doing a good job at it. Like, sorry, Buki, you're not getting the Oscar for this performance. Because here's the thing. If she actually had a legal team and this cease and desist was coming from someone in the legal field, they would have told her to stop direct communication with me. They would have told her to let everything go through them. And so the fact that she is still in communication with me, even after she emailed me this cease and desist from her team, like, giveaway number 3 that it was just her. Like, can we be serious? So I don't respond to any of these DMs or these comments because at this point I'm just like, I'm just going to let you talk to yourself in my DMs and in my comments because I don't give a fuck. Like, this is so unimportant to me and so irrelevant to me. Like, if you want to talk to yourself in my DMs and shit, okay, have at it. 0 out of 10 use of free will in my opinion, but it's your free will to use or to waste, not mine. But for her comments that she had left on my video, other people in the comment section had seen them, and so now they're responding to her comments and basically telling her, like, you know, you don't really have a case, telling her it's on camera, like, we all saw her big microaggressive, we all saw her pretending to say Megan's name, like, basically telling her, like, she looks ridiculous, because she does, honestly, in my opinion. And she is in my comment section, fighting for her life, going back and forth, arguing with other commenters in my comment section. And my thing is, like, you don't have a case, and I'm fully aware that you don't have a case. But if you did, all you're doing right now is weakening your own case. Because in order to claim harassment, you can't be interacting with the people that you're claiming are harassing you. Like, that's not how harassment works. Harassment is one-sided. You know what I mean? Harassment is unwanted communication. And by you responding back, you're not really showing that this communication is unwanted. And that's why I say, like, I just genuinely feel like this is her begging for attention and relevancy. Because if you really wanted the situation to go away, you wouldn't, number one, have re-brought it up 2 months later after no one was still talking about it. And number two, you wouldn't be engaging with the same people that you're claiming are harassing you. I just feel like it is incredibly fucking embarrassing. Because again, this all stems from Megan Thee Stallion dating your ex. Doing all of this over a man is crazy. Like, are you not embarrassed? Yikes on bikes. I've said this before and I will continue to say it until I am blue in the face. Male validation means nothing because children, corpses, animals, couches, a fucking hole in the wall if it's moist enough, like anything can get it. And so the fact that you're crashing out this bad over male validation, go talk to that lady. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, I just think it is so fucking embarrassing. And maybe it's not even male validation or because of the male attention that she's doing this all for. But the other alternative, to me, in my opinion, is for clout or for relevancy. And it's like, if you have to do all of this for clout and attention, maybe you're just not that girl. Maybe we should consider other avenues of employment. Like, clout and internet relevancy has become such a drug to some people where they will do anything for it. And any storyline that they have, whether it showcases them in a negative or a positive light, they don't care. They just feel like as long as they're in the spotlight, that's all that matters. And that is really, really scary to me. Like, doing all of this for the attention of people online, strangers who have no idea who you are. Therapy, I beg. Like, it was never that serious. It's just never that serious. It truly isn't. And it genuinely makes me feel sad for the people who behave like this for either male validation or for internet relevancy, because it was never that fucking serious. Neither one is ever that serious. I promise you, life will go on whether or not a man is showing you attention and whether or not strangers on the fucking internet are showing you attention. I really just cannot wrap my brain around either one. But I think that both, again, you just need to go talk to that lady. You need to go figure out what the fuck is going on, because it's just never that deep. It is not that serious. Like, it's genuinely scary because she was in my comment section for days arguing with people. Like, every time I would log into TikTok, I would see her in the comment section. And I was sending it to my friends, and I'd be like, day 2 of this lady in my comment section, day 3 of this lady in my comment section, day 4 of this lady in my comment section, day 5 of this lady in my comment. Like, for almost a week straight, she was in my comment section fighting for her fucking life. And I just, like, that's sad to me. Like, more so than it is just, like, ridiculous and a little bit humorous, it is sad. Like, that is not normal behavior, and it kind of makes me worried for the future of social media, because the more that social media develops, the more that people like this who are begging for strangers' attention and clout, or whatever you want to call it, I fear it's only going to get worse. And as someone who wants to be a full-time content creator, maybe we shouldn't have this much access to other people. Because, like, clearly some of you bitches cannot fucking handle it. Like, doing anything and everything for attention, it just was never that serious. It is not that deep. I promise you it is not that deep. Because at the end of the day, especially if you're someone who wants to do content creation as a full-time job, like, all of this is going into your digital footprint. All of this is being documented. All of this is going to be available to the internet. And so it's just like, is this the type of image that you want the internet to see? And again, some people don't even care. They don't care if it's a positive or a negative image, as long as there's an image. So maybe I'm just screaming into the void, but I honestly just worry about people who see any type of attention as good attention. Like, it just was never that serious. And it's like, again, I spoke about this a little bit on last week's episode. If you have decided that you want to be a content creator, or you want a social media platform, influencer, whatever you want to call it, you have to realize that you are responsible for the things that you say and do. And if you say or do something that is problematic, or that has racial or microaggressive undertones, like, there are going to be people who call you out for that thing. There are going to be people who hold you accountable for the things that you do and say. And I'm not talking about, like, harassment or bullying. I do not condone harassment or bullying. I do not condone death threats. That's too far. And I stand by that, and I will always say that. But if somebody is genuinely just holding you accountable for the things that you're doing with your platform, that comes with the territory. Like, people are going to hold you accountable. And if you cannot handle that, you should not be doing social media. I'ma just be real. And again, there is a difference between holding someone accountable and harassment and bullying. I do not condone harassment and bullying. I am not making this episode so that you guys will go and harass this girl or bully her. I don't condone that. But at the end of the day, when you are held accountable for something, and if there are multiple people saying the exact same thing, instead of becoming defensive, maybe look at what people are saying so that you can learn from it. I'm not saying that people can't make mistakes. Sure, people make mistakes. We're fucking human. But learn from those mistakes. And the fact that it doesn't seem like she is interested in learning from the mistakes, and instead wants to manufacture tofu with me, is, like, crazy to me. Like, learn. Like, no one is above critique. No one is above being held accountable. And the fact that instead of seeing this as a way to learn and grow, she has now come back 2 months later in an attempt to victimize herself, it's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And this is why I can just not take white women seriously, because it's just like, the white women tears and the gaslighting, unfortunately, it'll never work on me. And so I said what I said in my videos back in January. Everything is there in 4K. I moved on, yet she's still there. Bills can't be this fucking high. Bills cannot be this high. And if they are, consider other avenues of employment. Anyway, again, I am not posting this so that you guys will go comment, bully, don't do any of that. I just thought it was really, really crazy that she came back 2 months later in an attempt to do whatever it is she's doing right now. But at the end of the day, I said what I said. I stand by what I said. Like, what else do you want? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I hope whatever she hopes to gain from it, she gains from it. Hopefully it'll be something that makes her learn and grow. But if not, such is life. I have much better things to do, so I'm going to go ahead and go do those things. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I know this episode wasn't really an educational one, but I just felt like I needed to give y'all a life update because, girl, what the fuck be going on? Like, it's just extremely unserious. Like, there's so much more to life than worrying about attention, whether it be mail or internet. And honestly, something that I have been feeling like recently is that I don't use my free will enough and I don't romanticize my life enough. And those are two things that I feel like everyone could do more. Maybe, actually, I take that back with the free will part, because some of y'all don't exercise your free will the way that I feel like you should. But again, it's your free will to use or to waste, however you want to do it. But I just feel like there's so much more to life than any of this being social media, attention, whatever it is. Figure out another way to fucking use your free will. There's really so much you could do. You could take up knitting. You could go to the dog shelter and walk dogs. You could volunteer at the soup kitchen. You could do pottery. Like, there's so much you could do. And honestly, I'm speaking to myself here some too, because like I said, I realized that I don't exercise my free will enough or romanticize my life enough. So that's definitely something that I want to do more. And I feel like maybe let's just all do that together. Let's just all take up a hobby or something. Something that takes you away from being online. Just touch some grass. You know, touch some fucking grass. We all need to take more time away from the internet. Like, it's rotting our brains. Let's all just touch grass. That's, as we end the pod episode today, that's what I want each and every one of us to do. After you get done watching this episode, go touch some grass, because it can hurt. Even if you feel like you've touched enough grass today, touch some more. It can't hurt. It can only help. So I'm gonna go touch some grass now. I hope that you all will do the same. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I hope everyone is having a good day, except for that orange drink lady. And I will talk to you in the next episode. Peace and love. Talk to you later. The Napkin in Between, hosted by Desist Jones, produced by Desist Jones, post-production by Desist Jones, music by Sam Champagne, and graphics by Isma Vidal. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next episode.